The Sweet Journey: How Chocolate is Made. Chocolate, that irresistible treat loved by millions around the world, has a journey that starts in the tropical regions where cocoa trees flourish. Join us as we unravel the fascinating process of how cocoa beans are transformed into the delectable chocolate bars we all enjoy. Step 1. Harvesting cocoa pods. The journey begins in cocoa plantations, where skilled farmers carefully harvest ripe cocoa pods from the cocoa trees. These pods, varying in size and color, are cut from the trees using sharp tools, ensuring only the ripest ones are selected. Inside each pod, nestled in a sweet white pulp, are cocoa beans, the heart of chocolate. Step 2. Fermentation process. After harvesting, the cocoa pods are cracked open, revealing the cocoa beans surrounded by pulp. The beans, still coated with pulp, are collected and placed in large wooden or banana leaf lined or heaps. The fermentation process begins as natural yeast and bacteria in the air and enzymes activate, causing the beans to ferment over the course of about 5 to 7 days. The temperature and microbial action turn the beans from pale and bitter to brown and flavorful. Step 3. Drying the beans. Once fermentation is complete, the fermented beans are spread out in thin layers on wooden drying racks or mats. These drying racks are placed in the sun to dry, allowing the beans to lose excess moisture. The beans are turned regularly to ensure even drying, a process that can take up to a week. Proper drying is essential to prevent mold growth and to prepare the beans for roasting. After, the cocoa beans are exported to factories to make the chocolate. Step 4. Roasting the beans. The dried cocoa beans are now ready for roasting, a step that further develops the flavor of the beans. The beans are roasted in large rotating drums at temperatures around 210 to 290 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 to 145 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes to 2 hours. Roasting brings out the rich aroma and complex flavors of chocolate by caramelizing sugars and reducing acidity. The beans crack and pop as they roast, releasing their characteristic chocolate aroma. The duration and temperature of roasting vary depending on the desired flavor profile: light, medium, or dark chocolate. Step 5. Cracking and winnowing. Once roasted to perfection, the cocoa beans are cracked into smaller pieces to reveal the nibs inside. Cracked beans are then winnowed, a process that removes the shell or husk from the cocoa nibs. Winnowing is often done using machines that use air to blow away the lighter husks, leaving behind the precious cocoa nibs. What remains after winnowing are the pure cocoa nibs, small dark pieces with intense chocolate flavor. Step 6. Grinding into cocoa mass. The cocoa nibs are then ground into a thick dark paste called cocoa mass or cocoa liquor. This grinding process generates heat due to friction, causing the cocoa butter in the nibs to melt and form a smooth liquid. The result is a thick, intense cocoa mass that contains cocoa solids, which give chocolate its flavor, and cocoa butter, which provides the smooth texture. Step 7. Pressing to separate cocoa solids and cocoa butter. The cocoa mass is pressed in hydraulic presses to separate the cocoa solids from the cocoa butter. The press exerts immense pressure on the cocoa mass, squeezing out the cocoa butter which is collected. What remains after pressing is a dry cake of cocoa solids, which is further ground into fine cocoa powder. Step 8. Conching and refining. The cocoa mass, now chocolate liquor, undergoes a refining process to improve texture.